Did these body cams capture Mr. Kendrick within the home?
I believe they caught Mr. Kendrick running from the home.
That's not the question I asked.
They caught him outside of the home. I don't know how to better. I'm answering your question.
It's either a yes, no.
No.
Is there body cam image of Mr. Kendrick within Mr. Williams' home?
The body camera image I saw was him running from the home.
Is there body cam image of
No.
Mr. Williams
Answer yes or no, and then you can explain.
in the home?
I haven't reviewed all of the entry team's body camera, but no.
Okay. Did you see Mr. Kendrick in Mr. Williams' home?
On that, by the time I arrived at the location, the entry was already made. So I did not. No.
You did not. Okay. Did you? There were approximately a half a dozen firearms found within the home, correct?
Correct.
Have you seen any images of Mr. Kendrick possessing any of those firearms?
I have not.
Have you seen any images of Mr. Kendrick near those firearms?
I have not.
There were drugs found in the home, correct?
Correct.
Did you see Mr. Kendrick with any of those drugs?
No.
Did you see Mr. Kendrick anywhere near any of those drugs?
No.
As far as you know, was Mr. Kendrick in actual possession of any of those drugs?
No, I wasn't there when they made entry.
Have you spoken to anyone? No, let me take that back. Did you speak to Mr. Kendrick at all at that time?
I did not.
Okay. As far as you know, did Mr. Kendrick have any of those drugs, as far as you know?
As far as I know, no.
And as far as you know, did he have any of those guns?
I just know he was in the home where they were located at some point that day.
Okay. Let's talk about the mob ties video for just a moment.
Yes.
So in that video, at the very end, right, we have Mr. Kendrick saying, excuse my language, saying, knock it off your big homie bitch, correct?
Correct.
Do you recall how many times that line was stated prior to Mr. Kendrick uttering that line at the very end?
Multiple.
And it was stated by 24 Heavy, Ricky Hill, correct?
Correct.
And I believe he states it 3 times, right?
Correct.
So Mr. Kendrick is just repeating a line that someone else has written or someone else has said. He's repeating that at the end, correct?
I'm not sure who the writing credits go to, but he did say it at the end.
He's not freestyling it in that it's never been heard before in the song, correct?
Well, it wasn't part of the song. At that point, the song had ended, and he yelled it.
But it had been said 3 times before in the song, right?
Right.
So you're aware there's post-editing that lines can be put into music after the song is recorded, correct?
Right, but the context of how he was saying it, the way he said it, wasn't going along with the song.
Ooh, this is interesting. Tell me about that.
It was after the song had concluded, and he kind of yelled it out with Miss Raven, and I forgot who else was with him.
How do you determine that a song has concluded?
The video, the way it's portrayed in the video, I didn't edit it. The way that it's portrayed in the video has ended, and he utters it at the end after the song is concluded.
So what training have you had in music to know, when a song is ended in a particular video, when there's an utterance after a song is ended?
Are you asking me how I know when a song ends?
Yeah, how do you know this in this video? Like, you've had training and expertise that tells you when a particular rap song ends and then something is just blurted out afterwards?
I mean, I've listened to the song independent of the video, and that's not on the track.
But it's in the video, correct?
Right, but when the song concludes, it's not part of the track.
Can we put up, which one of y'all are throwing up exhibits? Can you put up 512 VV? Yes. Mr. Atkins, thank you so much. Yeah, it's okay, thank you. I should have told you that. Sorry, just give us a minute to get it up. Okay. We'll talk about something just a moment while it's going to take a few minutes for this to get pulled up, okay? We'll come back to it, I promise. Again, I'm going to go back to the closet, and I apologize for jumping around.
Sure.
When you're in Mr. Williams, did you call it the jewelry closet?
No, it was a closet where there was a jewelry and other things, money, other things were stored.
Okay. When you're in that closet, do you recall in that video that you mentioned how valuable that watch is when you pull it up?
I don't believe so.
I can play that for you so you can hear that.
You can. I don't. Yeah, if you'd like to.
I'll be careful.
Are we playing the video or just the audio?
I just want to do the audio, so I'm going to make sure we can get that done.
Well, that ought to not pose a problem.
I want to make sure we can technically do that without having an issue.
On it, okay. I mean, he could just play it from his laptop if that's an easier way to do it, as long as the jury can hear it.
Okay, can you turn it up?
Just put a mic next to your speaker on
We can
your
do it from here.
laptop.
We can do it from here.
All right, so Marissa, just so you know, all the cars, minus the Mustang, contain either thug or guns, name it.
I'm not sure that's working. There's a lot of an echo there.
And there's
We'll just play it for you so you can see that. I just don't want to risk your image being shown.
I appreciate you, Mr. Weinstein.
What was the first watch?
I made it, like you said, I made it about the first watch that made it to
I mean about
evidence.
the first watch,
Yeah.
which was also a Richard Mille watch, or Mill.
I don't
I don't know how to pronounce it. So you did make it about the first Richard Mille, just not the
That is
second
in
Richard
evidence.
Mille. Okay. But they're both Richard Mille watches, correct?
I mean, there were several much more expensive pieces of jewelry that were there also. And this is not my first case with a lot of expensive jewelry.
Here you go. Did you get it pulled up, Mr. Atkins? Oh, great. Thank you. Okay. Let's go back to 512 VV for just a moment.
Okay.
Look at would you read that line below again about running like Ricky?
Yes.
And what is the import of running like Ricky?
It's from a movie,
And what movie is that from?
Boys in the Hood.
And what's happening to Ricky in Boys in the Hood that's running like Ricky has become a meme?
He's getting gunned down in a drive-by shooting,
And what's he doing when he's getting gunned down?
running.
And he's running down an alley, correct?
Yes.
And he's running at a pretty good clip away from the vehicle that is shooting him with a shotgun, correct?
Correct.
Okay. He's not standing on a sidewalk, right?
I didn't insinuate that.
Sorry?
I didn't insinuate that.
No, I didn't say you did. I'm just
Okay,
asking
yeah,
you
no.
a question.
He's running.
Okay. And he's running directly away from the shotgun that's coming out of a car to shoot him, correct?
Correct.
Okay. This picture here of I guess it's Duke, it's Martinez Arnold, correct?
Yes.
And Deamonte Kendrick. This is from June 23rd, 2020, correct?
Correct.
And that is approximately 5 years and 5 months after the killing of Donovan Thomas.
Yes, this picture was more so of importance to me to show the alliance between the Crips and YSL.
Oh, that's right. That's a hybrid gang, right?
Correct.
Okay. And a hybrid gang is kind of like a nose of wax, right? It's something that you can twist and pull so that any type of characteristics that you find can meet the definition of a gang, right?
That's not true.
It isn't true. Why wouldn't that be true?
For example, this hybrid gang with Mr. Arnold, this came about when Mr. Keith Troop died, and Mr. Williams gave the eulogy at Mr. Keith Troop's funeral. And if you listen to Mr. Kitchens, he tells the story about how Mr. Williams was put in charge to take care of Mr. Kitchens and guide him, and he's the one that kind of took them under their wing, and it was okay. And Mr. Williams was the first one to cross color lines when it came to gangs here in Georgia, and they were first uneasy with that, but Keith Troop explained to them, no, it's okay, this is something we do now. So that's an example, and the Department of Justice defines hybrid gangs as a gang member's participation in multiple gangs, vague rules and code of conduct, gangs or different gangs collaborating together to commit crimes. And there's several other definitions, but it's not just something I made up. The Department of Justice defines it too.
No, I know, and what I'm trying to understand from you is I've seen multiple gang experts come in here and talk about definitions of gangs and definitions of hybrid gangs. And it just appears that if a group of individuals don't fit your definition of a gang, that they automatically get classified as a hybrid gang. I'm asking a question about hybrid gang.
Well,
can you explain what a hybrid gang is?
yes, it's
Yeah.
I gave you part of it. It's traditionally a neighborhood gang or local gang that tries to take on the identifiers of a traditional gang. Like, I'm from New York. The gangs in New York are much more structured. The gangs in LA, Chicago are much more structured. I apologize, from New York. The gangs are much more structured here in Georgia. You'll see there are neighborhood cliques that will adopt the identifiers, like YSL, for example, adopted the identifiers of sex, money, murder. They were sex, money, murder based in the beginning, but then Mr. Williams decided to do his own spin on it. Like I said, when he was very close to Keith Troop, when he was deceased, he kind of, or prior to that, like I said, if you watch, there's history about it where Mr. Kitchens talks about he was sent to go help out Mr. Williams at one point. And at first he was uneasy, like, oh, do we do this? And he said,
Slow down also.
Yeah,
It's
just-
sustained
yeah.
to hearsay.
and that's,
I'm trying to understand, without giving examples, if you can define hybrid gang.
it is a neighborhood gang that takes on pieces of traditional gangs. And like I said, you'll have individuals from different gangs working together. You will have the mixed use of identifiers, like we've seen through the presentation of evidence here. Like here, this snake and the blue heart for the Crips. Vague rules and code of conduct. Sex, money, murder, bloods have a rank structure. I don't know a rank structure within YSL. So they take pieces of what they like and they put their own spin on it, but are still backed by a traditional gang.
So a traditional gang would have a hierarchy, correct?
Correct.
But you, according to I believe the testimony we've heard, YSL as a gang doesn't have a hierarchy.
They don't have, but the Goodfellas, for example, they have.
I'm asking, let's go back to my question.
Right.
What YSL?
Right.
I would ask the counsel to be able to explain her answer. I mean, the witness to be able to explain her answer.
Well, the answer wasn't responsive to my question.
Overruled. Go ahead and ask your question.
Okay.
Okay. YSL does not have a hierarchy as a traditional gang does, correct?
They don't have a set of leadership like roles, no.
Okay, so in that sense, they wouldn't fit into the definition of a traditional gang.
But they're still welcomed by members of the Sex, Money, Murder, Bloods.
Can you just answer my question?
Yes.
Okay. So my question was, they don't fit into the definition of a traditional gang.
Correct.
So instead, they get slotted over to this catch-all category of hybrid gang, correct?
I wouldn't call it a catch-all, no.
Okay. I don't have any further questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Weinstein.